This is Skyrim. I really like Skyrim. Skyrim is one of my favorite games of all time. Hey everyone, this is Sam with the Jet Mafia. Today we're going to be going over the best start in the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. With the remastery right around the corner, I figured I would go ahead and talk about one of my favorite games ever, Skyrim. I want to show you guys how to get started in your game and just kind of go from there. So we're going to go ahead and start off by pressing New Game. Okay, so upon starting your new game, in the vanilla game, as you can see, I'm using mods, so I have an alternative start mod. I am going to be going over the vanilla start for this one, and even though I have mods much at all, I'll get around the same level of gear as you guys. It's really not going to be any different, and this is kind of the generic start that you should definitely go with, especially if you're playing a vanilla Skyrim, whether it be console, PC, or what have you. So when you go into it, you will go into a character creation menu. You can change pretty much everything about your character's face. You can change between a male or a female character. That doesn't matter, but what does matter is the race that you choose. There are 10 different races in the Elder Scrolls Skyrim. There is the Argonian, the Breton, the Dark Elf, the High Elf, the Imperial, Khajiit, the Nord, an Orc, Redguards, and Wood Elves. So each of these races, it doesn't necessarily lock you in to what kind of style you have to play the game, although they do have specific benefits that kind of encourage you to play a specific way. If I wanted to, I could play this Argonian as a mage, a warrior, an archer, or some variation of those three. It's really up to you. There is no real class system. Now, that being said, there are actives, there are passives, there are different abilities that each race has, and I'm going to go ahead and break these down for you. So we're starting it off with the Argonian, the lizard people of the game. They have a resistance to disease. They can also breathe underwater, and they have an active known as His Skin, which allows you to regenerate health. So when you're in combat, this is a daily power, meaning that you can only activate these once per day. It is the same way as a shout. Well, shouts you can activate more often, but it would be set to the same key binding as a shout. You will activate this ability, and whatever it is, depending on your race, this will happen. For the Argonians, it regenerates their health, so this can be in combat, out of combat, it does not matter. It's up to you. Next, we move on to the Breton, which is what a lot of people consider to be the best race in the game. So these people, they have a pretty good grasp of spells. They have a resistance to spells as well, which means fire, ice, and electricity. They will not be hurt as much by them. They also have an active, the Dragon Skin, which absorbs these spells as well, which gives them very, very high resistance to magic. So that's one of the biggest issues with being a mage, is if someone hits you with a lightning spell, it's going to absorb all of your magic and you're just not going to be able to attack. Or it's going to be the same thing if you're a warrior. Someone uses an ice spell, they're going to sap all of your stamina, you're not going to be able to move as quickly. Bretons are very, very good. I would highly recommend them to anybody new to the game that is starting off and want to go with just a general character. A Breton is a very, very good start. Next we have the Dark Elves, and the Dark Elves, they have a resistance to fire. So I think it's 50% resistance to fire, and they also have their once per day ability to cloak themselves in a shield of fire. It is known as Ancestor's Wrath. That was actually different from Oblivion. I believe in Oblivion it would summon a spectral ghost to fight for you. Next we have the High Elves, and these ones, this would probably be the one class I would say you really, really, really want to stick to a certain character's play style. High Elves, they're just naturally a better mage. They have increased damage, will be hurt more by magic, but they also have 100%, or not 100%, 100 more magic just base start off. They also have something known as a Highborn, which regenerates their magic faster. This is a passive. So naturally, they're better with magic. You can play them in other roles. I would just incorporate the magic in them, because if you're getting a boost to your magic, there's just no reason not to use it. So like a spell sword or a wizard, that's how I would play a High Elf. Next we have the Imperials. This would probably be the worst character in my opinion. All they really do, they have a bonus to where they'll pick up 10 extra gold off of anything. They also have their active called Voice of the Emperor, which calms enemies. Overall, they're kind of, middle ground. They can do pretty much any role that you want them to, but I just don't feel that they really have any actives or passives that really sets them out and makes them better for anything. Khajiits are one of the better classes. You definitely, if you're going to be playing like an unarmed build, this is definitely kind of like the go-to, just because they have something with their claws. It gives them extra damage. They can also see at night, which is very, very handy if you're doing some sort of sneak character, or if you're doing a vampire, just to make it easier for you to see. This is very, very cool. I like Khajiits a lot, and this may be what is used for you. Next we have Nords. These are the ones that I will usually use for a warrior class. How you have the High Elves. And the reason I would use a Nord for a warrior class is because they have resistance to cold, and cold is usually the way that kind of really ruins a warrior. So with the resistance to it, that means they're going to absorb less of their stamina and use that up, so that way they can use more power attacks and just move around in general. So usually if I'm making a Nord, and this is usually the class I end up picking, especially when I'm a melee character, I like to choose them because of that. They also have an active known as Battle Cry, which causes all opponents around them to flee. Next we have an Orc, which has, in my opinion, the best active in the entire game, and that is Berserk Rage. What the Berserk Rage does is it gives you increased damage. I believe you also take less damage as well, and you probably regenerate health at a faster rate, if I remember correctly. I know you definitely do more damage, and I believe you take less damage as well. Orcs, I mean, if you're going to be doing that, you might as well make them a warrior race. You can make them a mage race as well, but it's just going to kind of take away from the Berserk Rage. Next we have the Red Guards, and they have a natural resistance to poison, which is not bad. They also have Adrenaline Rush, which is very similar to the Orcs active. It's just not quite as buffed, but the Red Guard is not a bad choice either. And then lastly you have the Wood Elves. They have a resistance to poison and disease. I believe it's a 25% for each of them, and they also have an active where they can command animals around them. They will go ahead and take control of them, and the animals will fight for them. So that is very, very cool. So I am going to go ahead and make an Orc character. I just feel like making an Orc today. So we are going to go ahead and accept him. Finish, name our character. We're going to go ahead and name him Papa Orc. So in the vanilla version, it will be a little different. You're not going to start off in this room like I will. It will put you through a cutscene, and then you will be at an execution block, and from there you'll be able to customize how your character is going to look. I will end up going through the same thing. I'm creating my character beforehand because I have a mod. Okay, so after Alduin attacks, you're going to be running down here, and you are going to come to a point. You're going to have to choose between either the Imperials or Stormcloaks. This will not matter in the end of the game. I just usually end up choosing the Imperials over them, just because the Smith in the Riverwood coming up, he is part of the Imperials, and I just like getting in good with him. So I go ahead and I choose that. It should not affect the items you receive too much. So after you get into the second room where you have your second encounter, you will find a barrel full of potions. Go ahead and pick those up, but there are also some other potions throughout the room. Over here by the dining table, you'll find a Magicka potion as well as another healing potion, and then right before you exit on the table over here, you will also find another healing potion. Once you end up in the torturer's room, you can come in here and you will find yourself an iron shield as well as an iron mace. But the most important part, especially for mages, is you head over here, pick up the lockpicks, pick up the healing potion, and in this middle cell you will find a dead mage. On him he will have a hood and some robes that will help you get through the game. Even if you don't pick those up, just so that way you get some of the money off of him. He also has a spell tome in there as well as another potion of magic. So after you lower this bridge right here, you are going to come into a room with a river in it. Head down. You can also go into a little passageway. Over here to the left, you will find a skeleton. Next to the skeleton, you will find a healing potion and a bag of gold. After you pick these up, go ahead and head back out. And as you are heading down, there's nothing up there, but further on down, the way that you are supposed to go, you'll find another skeleton with another bag of gold next to him. Then go ahead and continue on into the room with the spiders. In the room with the spiders, you will be able to go down this path. Before you go, head up here. You will see a fire. Next to the fire, there will be 2 healing potions right there. After you clear the spider room, you will be heading into the room with the bear. Head over here across the bridge, and then up to the left there will be another fire with another skeleton. He will have another potion of health. This thing is more just so that way you could sell. It's 67 gold, and then head over here to this wine cart. Inside the wine cart, if you look closely, you will see a coin purse. Very easy to miss. Don't forget about that, and then go ahead and kill the bear and exit the area. So upon exiting the cave up there, you will head directly north almost, and you will follow this off the beaten path. There will be a little ledge right here in a rocky outcrop. You could also follow the path if you want to, but you will find a encampment over here. There will be 3 bandits inside. It's just random bandits, but the reason why we come here is we are looking for a treasure map. This bandit archer happened to have it. It is treasure map number 1. You will go ahead and pick that up. There is also some goodies itself. There is a skill book as well as a bag of gold next to a satchel over here. And apparently I'm going to be attacked by some wolves. Let me go ahead and take care of this real quick. Nice little gore kill for you guys. We'll kill him while we're at it. Nothing like getting a little extra leather, so that way we could go ahead and work on our stuff. And then there is also a mage robe over here. It is worth 55 gold, which at the beginning of the game is pretty good. After doing that, you're going to follow down and head almost directly north, like I was saying. You will see that black mark right there. That is the standing stones. These are going to give you some buffs to your character, depending on whatever class you are going to be choosing to play. You don't have to take these, and I know a lot of people don't, just because what they do is they will give you increased experience points to all skills under a certain class tree. So the Guardian Stones here, you have 3 of them. You have the Thief Stone, you have the Mage Stone, and you have the Warrior Stone. Like I said, they will give you 20% faster into the skills. The way that you know which ones they're going to cover, we're going to go ahead and we're going to level up real quick here. We're just going to do health. So anything in this blue will be covered by the Mage Stone, anything in the green will be covered by the Thief Stone, and anything in the red will be covered by the Warrior Stone. That's how you know which one of these stats are going to be improved. I'm going to choose to go with neither of them. I just enjoy a slower type of gameplay. As you follow the path down, you will notice a mine shaft over here. Head up this staircase and it will take you to Embershard Mine. Outside there is usually a guard posted. This one was invisible for me just because I have a mod for that. But there's always going to be 1 guard outside. Go ahead and clean them. So upon entering the mine, you will find that there are 2 bandits down over here to the right. Go ahead, kill them, and the important thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to take the pickaxe that's on the ground there. You can mine the iron ore in this place. Every iron ore will give you 2 of the ore, and that goes for any of them. Occasionally they will also give you gems, amethyst, rubies, the sort. You can either press E to mine them, or you can go ahead and attack them. It's actually very, very much faster to go ahead and attack them as opposed to just press E and let the game do it for you. It all just depends on what you want to do. So that's where our first iron ore is. The next one is over here. And then down to the right you will find a skeleton with a coin purse next to them. Go ahead and pick that up. Head over here. There will be a lever for you to flip, and that will go ahead and drop down this bridge for you. Go here, you will fight 2 more bandits. After clearing them out, you will head further down. As you get down here, you will see that there is some iron ore to your left. There will be a bandit right over here sitting in this chair. Go ahead and clear them out. They will have a key on them which will unlock this room. There's a chest inside of here. 2 two-handed weapons, a spell tome called Clairvoyance, which is not that great, but it could be useful for selling. And then there's also gold down here as well. After doing that, you're going to head over to the right. There will be more iron ore there, and then another iron ore vein up here. Go into this room. In this room, there will be 3 bandits. 1 bandit will be down there by the forge, and there will also be 2 others over here. There's usually 1 ranged character, whether it is a mage or an archer. It all depends, honestly. After you go ahead and clear this area out, you will head over into this spot and head to the left. Inside of this room, you will find some gems, some gold as well. Go ahead, pick all those up. There's a chest in here for you. And then heading out here, just before crossing the bridge, go down over here, head down, and once you come out into this opening, there will be iron ore for you, as well as a bag of gold and a chest for you to unlock. And then on your way out, you will go up there, and just once you get past a wooden standing wall, just to your right there will be another iron ore vein. While you're down here at the forge, there is also the light armor forging book. This will give you an increase to your smithing skill. So after leaving the cave, you will end up in Riverwood, and in Riverwood there are 3 things that you're going to want to do. First, you're going to want to find Faendale and Sven. Go ahead and talk to them. I usually end up siding with Faendale, just because you can have Faendale as a sidekick, and you can also have him train you in archery. The other thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to talk to whoever guides you down here, whether it be Hadvart or Rayloft. Go ahead and talk to their company, and they will give you some items to go ahead and get started. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to go into the Riverwood Trader. Once you're inside the Riverwood Trader, they're going to have some sort of issue with a break-in, and you're going to want to go ahead and talk to Lucan Valerius. After talking to him, he will end up telling you that a golden claw is missing. The next part is going to be getting the golden claw, and that is just going to happen just inadvertently as you're going through the next part of the game. So before you run off to Bleak Falls Barrow, you're going to head over here just past the lumber mill. This is where that treasure map that we got earlier is going to take place. So you're going to head over here, and you're going to notice a tree that is knocked over. Go over to the tree, and inside of the opening you will notice that there is a treasure chest. Inside the treasure chest will be what is around for the treasure map. This will not spawn unless you have the treasure map, so go ahead and claim your reward. On your way up Bleak Falls Barrow, you will find a little castle over here. In the castle there are 3 bandits. One is usually posted outside by that tree over there. You can go ahead and pick them off with a ranged attack. One coin purse right here on the table upon entrance. Also, you will notice down there are 2 iron ore veins. There's one right there and one over there to the right. You can just walk down this path over there and pick those up for yourselves. As you head up the tower, occasionally one of the bandits will not come down, so they may fight you up here, but at the very top you have a treasure chest awaiting you. So once you come into this room, this is after you get through the main room in Bleak Falls Barrow, you will come to this test. You can either look at the stones right there and figure it out for yourself. Otherwise, you go ahead and you do snake, snake, fish. But for future reference, this is going to be how you figure out different puzzles. So once you get into the room with the spider, you will end up finding Arvel the Swift tied up in here. So you're going to cut him down both figuratively and literally, just because he is just going to cause you some troubles. And after you kill him, you will end up noticing that he has the golden claw on him. If you want, you can go ahead and read his journal. Otherwise, continue on. Make sure that you're checking up on some of the items. When I'm picking up things, the way that I like to do it is if it's under a certain weight and it's worth so much, I will go ahead and pick it up. At the beginning of the game, you can usually pick up most things. The only thing I kind of really make an exception for is iron armor. If I see the actual iron armor or even the headset, I kind of avoid those. Just because iron armor, I believe, weighs 35 pounds, and the gold that you get off of it is 55, give or take. And that's before you go and have to trade it in. So they're going to go ahead and they're going to give you less money for it already. But after we go through and try not to die here, 3 drug are in here, by the way, so I'm going to go ahead and heal up. So once you get into the second room, just before you go through the Axes of Doom, over here to the right you will notice that there is a chest for you to unlock. Go ahead and unlock that and claim your loot. After a couple of rooms, you're going to come to this room with a waterfall and a steep drop. You're going to actually go down the steep drop. At the bottom of the waterfall, you will end up finding yourself a chest along with a couple skeletons to go ahead and loot some gold off of. Once you get through, you're going to come to this room in here. This is the room just before the boss room. This is essentially the boss door. So you're going to go in here and you're going to click each ring twice. And that is going to allow you to open up the door with the golden claw that we received earlier after you cut down Arvel. So go ahead, flip everything twice, and then you're going to activate the keyhole, and that is going to use the golden claw. So this is also another puzzle that will come up throughout the game. If you ever get stuck on something, you're going to go ahead and go to the claw that you found. Usually they'll include the claw inside of the dungeon that you're going through. So if you look closely, you can go and manage this. You'll notice that there are 3 things on the inside of the hand: the bear, the butterfly, and the owl. It is different for each room, so go ahead and look at each of your claws, and that is going to be the combination that you're going to want to set. So you're going to go up here and you're going to go into the boss room. Upon entering the boss room, you'll notice that there is some iron ore over here to the left. Go ahead, continue on through, and you will see a giant opening. You're going to have to run up here, get your first word of power, which is going to be Foos for your force push. After you go ahead and absorb this and learn Foos, the boss is going to end up spawning. Go ahead. He's pretty tough. Make sure that you kill him as quick as possible. There are actually 3 chests inside of this room, so you will notice the one that is right here next to him. There is also one in the waterfall over there to the left just before you exit. There's also one behind this wall. So he will have the dragon stone on him, which is important for when you're going to Whiterun. You will end up having to come back here anyways if you do not do it, so while you're here you might as well do it. Get yourself the golden claw and get yourself some money, so that way you will save yourself some time. Hop over here back behind this waterfall and you will find a chest here. Like I mentioned, there is the iron ore at the beginning. There is the chest that is right here. And then there is also one over here by this waterfall. If you go just past it, hop down over here, and you will find the last chest. Next, we will be exiting the area. You're going to be heading this way towards leaving the entire dungeon. There is a little lever here. Go ahead, press that lever. It is going to open up a fake rock wall. If mine would go ahead and do that for me. Yes, excellent. There is one more chest for you on your way out, right next to the exit. There is also a skull, so there's nothing up here, but if you hop down, instead of just running straight forward, you will notice just to your right there is another chest right next to a skull and a wreath. We're going to go ahead and exit and go into Skyrim. As you will see, I am level 4. Just starting off the game. That is very, very good for covering some things. It takes about an hour to go ahead and do all of this. You'll notice I have a little under 1,000 gold, and that's before selling everything. I have a pretty good set of starting armor and weapons to go through and really start my character off. So this is the starting guide for the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. This is the vanilla start. And I hope you guys enjoyed my guide. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed this, or if you play a different style, or how you would do something different. Let me know. I love hearing your feedback. And I'm going to do a few more guides in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I will see you next time.